Okay, so which challenge do we want to pick out?
Well, I think the first thing for women's sports has always been the natural and understandable comparison with men's sports. I joke though, like if you play volleyball or you're in gymnastics, right? We were actually kind of the king of the path over the men. It was like, oh, male volleyball players and male gymnasts. So in a way, we had a reverse universe. But I think the thing is first getting girls to understand it's okay to be sweaty. It's okay to be aggressive. It's not doesn't make you a bad person because you want to win and say this is important to me. I want to go for this. I wish I was as mean as I am now as I was then when I was playing. Because I want to beat you, but I don't want to hurt your feelings because it's important, right? So it's kind of overcoming the hurdles. First of all, to know it's okay to participate. It's okay to want to win, and then actually having a platform to do so. I come from a sport, beach volleyball, that barely functions today. And we were trying to have the same message 20, 25 years ago. So I think you're always trying to have a platform for the next generation, the group coming from college. Can they make a living? Because it's all cute. But when they are teachers on the side and trainers on the side, how do we get them where they only have to focus on what they're doing?
I think another big one would be an obvious one would be injuries, but I think overall would be our bodies. Naturally as an athlete, we are very muscular, we all have different builds, and I think it's important for, our generation and many generations to see that it's okay to be comfortable with being strong. You can be a woman and be strong, that's okay, people shouldn't be afraid of that.
I think that's a great point. I think it's also creating just the greater acceptance that women can be celebrated, as she said, for being strong, that there is a place for women to compete, that it is socially acceptable. Like for me, when I competed, there were no sneakers for girls, right? Now, and you're thinking all these years later, and I'm always amazed by that. Nike pays LeBron James $90 million plus. It's probably under to wear his shoes. And so when you go in to buy basketball shoes for girls, what do we see? We've gotten now, on top of the $100 million of advertising that it's LeBron shoes, and I'm a big LeBron fan, but where are girls in all this equation, right? Where do we matter? Where is stuff that fits our bodies that we feel comfortable with? And we're always guided to the male side because of the commerce end of it, because of business. There's just not enough money, right, for a lot of these companies to say, hey, you're worth it. And the truth of the matter is, it's there. We have to take the time to really develop it. And I think that's where we are in terms of our overall development. We want the National Women's Hockey League to be successful. Well, it's not going to happen unless we put it on TV, unless people write about it, unless we as fans buy tickets. And the word out there is these are phenomenal athletes we should watch. And it's the same thing with the surfers. Oh my God, have you guys ever stood next to the ocean and heard it roar? It's like riding a roar, right? You have to have so much courage. Riding the roar.
In a bikini, by the way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, go. I'm done. You're done.
Mic drop.
Done.
No, I think the biggest challenge that I've had to face is creating your own voice in space. For when I was growing up as well, we didn't have, there were no surf clothes for women, and there were no wetsuits for women because the brands didn't exist. So, I'm growing up as a young kid in Sydney and looking to being a professional surfer and wanting to have that professional competitive career when, the industry was kind of looking more at the model ambassadors, and it's hard to find your way in that kind of a space, particularly when that women's voice and women's surfing in general kind of existed as, way back in the day, existed as a bit of a privilege of the male-dominated industry and male-dominated culture. But for me, if I had given up then and just decided that, this wasn't going to be for me, that I wouldn't have, survived until today when we have, true equality in the WSL for the women's, and we have a new ownership team who are really committed to having equality for women and having the platform for us on the World Surf League, and that's been so important, to find your little space.
Yeah, and on the business side as well is the challenge of finding that same space and being able to talk to sponsors, to talk to potential partners and say, okay, we understand that we're a new league and you think it's about the bottom line, but we have assets, we have value that is beyond what what you see as a startup business. And so being able to combat that narrative and say, we have 92 brand ambassadors in the players in our league, we have 4 teams, we have a league, we have all of these things that fit into what you as a brand say that you believe in diversity, inclusion, and women's empowerment and leadership. And there's opportunity here, and so it becomes sort of a chicken and the egg thing with a brand new business. Is okay, we need the sponsorship dollars, we need the revenue stream so we can continue to grow. But when they're businesses and brands that are talking about the bottom line, and well, you're new, it becomes a little more complicated. When you're like, all right, well, we need people to believe. We need people to be progressive and take that first step and say, okay, well, we believe in what you're doing. We believe in women. We believe in that there should be an opportunity for a professional hockey player to compete after college as a female. Yes, I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges is combating that narrative, not only on the fan side, but on the business side as well.
I will say one thing that's something kind of interesting. For example, women's soccer has had some interesting things happening with Lifetime partnering up and doing things with them. So I think there's also, on the flip side, some interesting strategies happening, because even if we just say, hey, it's about the bottom line, certain companies are recognizing who buys stuff, who sells stuff, and so there is good things happening there.
And hats off to those companies. Let's see that value.